Hey, I'm making another video, and this time I want to share my exact plan on how I'm going to make $10,000, well, kind of dollars. I'm going to get into that in a second. How I'm going to make 10,000 by the end of 2026. So we have about 383 days, something like that. The thing is, currently, as I stand, I'm making about 2 grand. So I want to 5x my income in only 380 days. That's pretty quick, man. That's pretty fucking fast. And yeah, I'm recording this right after coming back from school. I look horrible. My hair is absolutely trash. I was taking a bath yesterday and holy shit, bro, it really messed up with my hair. Anyways, back to the topic. How I'll make 10,000 a month by the end of 2026. It's gonna be pretty hard, man. It's gonna be pretty freaking hard. So, like I said, right now I'm making 2 grand a month and I'm working a job. On weekends, I am transporting items in shops. That's really it, man. That's really simple. It's not a lot of work. It's still a problem because if I wanted to make 10,000 a month via my current job, I'd have to work 7 days a week for 12 hours every single day, and that's not gonna cut it. That is just not it, and that's without any sort of taxing. So I have a lot of other things that I'm also doing on a daily basis. Like I'm going to the gym, I have to meet with my girlfriend, I have to go to work, I have to study, I'm going to college right now, I'm majoring in physics. So there's a lot of things on my plate, but still I know I'm able to get about 6 hours every single day of actual productive work to put into how I'm going to make $10,000 a month. Okay, so the thing is, it's not $10,000 per se. I'm really used to saying that, but it's more so my currency. And if you want to translate it to, well, living expenses, I'd say it's like a 1 to 1.3. So if you have $7,000, you're living the same way I would live here, making 10,000 of my own currency. But I'm going to stick to dollars because it's just way simpler for me to speak that way. And so, yeah, main thing, I plan on having some side incomes in terms of my, like, for example, my regular job. That's going to be a side income for me. Maybe YouTube, maybe I'm good enough at that point to start making money from this, but generally 10k a month from YouTube, not gonna happen in a year. Same with my job, no chance. Maybe I'll add like 3 grand total from these things. So I need to find a different way to make 10,000, and I know exactly what's going to be. Right now, if you know what this channel is about, I've been making trading videos on it, and thing is, I'm still trading. I just stopped making videos. I'm still trading, and finally, for a couple of months now, I've been actually profitable on a real account and I've been making real money. The thing is, it's a small account. So we still have a long ways to go, but I do have a plan on how I'm going to make $10,000 a month in a single year from trading, mainly trading. It's gonna be really hard, but I know I can do it. I trust myself. I know I can do it. I will do it. And this video is sort of like a goal setter as well as something to keep me obligated to my job. Because I want to post videos every single week talking about how much progress I've made towards this goal. And this is just one of many videos. I still want to make a video, same thing, talking about how I'm going to be more attractive, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to be that, how I'm going to do other things that I really want to get good at in 2026 to become unrecognizable, as they say. I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter what people think of me. I just want to make $10,000 a month, and that's a start. And then I just want to keep going because I'm greedy. But yeah, in terms of actually trading and how I'm going to make trading my main source of income, there are a couple of things that have to come into play. So first of all, currently, I'm trading on a very small account. It's in thousands, right? So $1,000, let's say, if you make 1 to 5% every single month, as a trader would, then you'd be making about $50. That's not enough. But if you scale that account 10 times over, then, well, you're making $500. And if you scale that account 10 times over, then you're going to be making 5 grand. Well, still not enough, but currency exchange, it will get me to my goals. It's a little bit of like a country thing, so I'm not technically going to be making $10,000, but I will be living almost as if I was making 10 grand. So yeah, a little bit of a help, but why would I not take it? I mean, it's hard enough as it is to make that goal happen. So yeah, okay, let's look into my notes. What exactly do I have? Yeah, okay. So my main goal right now, it's December as I'm making this video, and price action is pretty freaking terrible. I don't know why it is exactly. I'm assuming, I just think so. Maybe I don't have any ideas behind why that really is. Price action is really terrible on indexes like Nasdaq and S&P. I think it's probably because we have taxes soon, because of New Year tax. You just have to, sell all your losses. People are probably not willing to go into trades so much, so it becomes a little bit of a problem in terms of trading. So I'm kind of pumping the brakes on it a little bit, focusing more on training and all of the other things, mastering my psychology instead of actually sitting on the charts. So I'm doing that for now, but when January rolls around, I want to go full in, non-stop into trading for about 6 months on this account that I have right now. And regardless of how much money I make, as long as it's really profitable, as long as it's say 10%, in those 6 months, if I make about 10% on the account gain, then I'll scale up to a $10,000 account, which that's pretty easy to do, because if you're making $2,000 a month from the job, I'll have 12 grand made by that time. So it's not really a big deal. But that's part one. That's the easy part, really, because I mean, anyone can make 10 grand and save up 10 grand, especially if you don't pay tax, because I'm 18, I don't have to pay tax. And if you're living with your parents and, well, they don't make you pay the bills. And even if they did, I'd still have enough money. So that goal is pretty simple. Nothing really too scary about it. But then the hard part comes in. Because how do I go from 10,000 to 100,000? And that's going to be a pretty tricky thing. But I also believe I can do it. So for about 4 months, from scaling to a $10,000 account, I want to be trading as nothing happened. So for these first 4 months, the main goal for me is going to be, okay, let's get used to the new numerical values of what I'm making. So now I'm no longer risking about $20, I'm risking $200. That's a lot more. That is significantly different on your psychology, on how it impacts your trading. So I first want to dial that in before I do anything to scale the account up higher once again. But in those 4 months, I'm still very much faithful in myself. I believe that I'll still be making money. It's just going to be a little bit of a rough patch at the start. So for example, let's say first month, maybe first 2 weeks, it's going to feel different. I know I can get used to it. $10,000 does not seem. I know it's a significant amount. I'd definitely be happy to have it. Like it's not life-changing money though. So if my life would not change, I'd probably not be so worried about it. So I'm thinking my psychology would not shift so much. I'll still have to see, but yeah, for now, this is the plan. So what I do to get from 10,000 to 100,000 and consequently to $10,000 a month is I trade for 4 months. I still continue to work at my job. Let's say I made 10% in those 4 months, because as a trader, that's very much realistic. So what I did is I managed to make $1,000 from my trading, as well as I managed to make 8,000 from my regular job. Let's say I'm going to spend $1,000. I don't really have to spend $1,000. I do end up spending like 200 every single month, but it's really not a big deal. Like I can very much not spend it or just save it up. Let's say I spend $1,000. I still have 8 grand for me. And now, how I'm going to get from 10K to 100K is pretty simple. I'm going to buy a funded account. I'm going to buy as many of those funded accounts as I can for those 8 grand. I'm not worried to spend that money, because if I win at least one of those trading accounts, I'm going to go from having a 10K account to a 100K actual dollars account, which in money translation, that's significantly more for me than my own currency, which is what I'm talking about when I'm saying dollars. So let's say I get a $100,000 account in dollars, in actual dollars. If I make a single trade that gives me $1,000 a profit, then it's almost as if I got 3 grand in my currency, even though it's going to feel like having 2 grand in US dollars. So my living expenses are not nearly as increased as the numerical value that I'm going to be making from that transition. So with having about 8 grand saved up for me to spend freely on those funded accounts, and I only need to win one of them, I'll be able to get anywhere from 8 to 30 accounts. And if only one of them works, then I'm going to be able to start making actual money, and that actual money being a lot, like honestly probably even more than 10 grand a month. And that's really simple on paper, but getting this shit done in real life, that's no easy task. To me personally, I feel like it's going to be really freaking difficult, but I'm up for the challenge. I mean, what else could I be doing? Drinking? Yeah, sure, I guess. That's just not fun for me. So yeah, I'd rather make that money. I'd rather try at least. And even if I fail, I still have another year. I can always have another year. And the only thing that's a given, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it happen. I just don't know exactly when. But setting a goal at least gives me this illusion of knowing, this reason to actually go for it. And it kind of removes the caution, because if I'm making a YouTube video about how I'm going to make 10 grand a month, I'd like to make that 10 grand a month, you know? I'd like to keep my word, because I would prefer to keep my image on the vision, like on internet. I want to keep it pretty clean at least. So yeah, that's my goals. That's how I'm going to get it. Oh yeah, another thing, if by the time 10 months pass, so I'm 2 months away from scaling up to a 100k account, if I manage to find some sort of investors, I'm going to do that instead. I would very much like to avoid prop firm trading, because prop firm they're pretty cool, but the chances of you staying in the game for more than a month or 2 months on those prop firms, it's really freaking low. So saying I make 10,000 a month, yeah, that's true, but for like a month or 2 months, it's not going to be consistent. I would need to have my own account, which can only be done either via investors or just working your ass off, and it's going to take forever for you to get that. One or the other. I'm gonna make it. Anyways, is there anything else I wanted to speak about or not? No, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the goal. That's how I'm going to make it. I'm going to start from $1,000, dial everything in, do that for 6 months, show profits, scale up 10x, do the same thing, go and buy a prop firm, get a bigger account, stay in it for a month or 2, get payouts, or find an investor, and that's how I'm going to make $10,000 a month. While scaling YouTube, while having a regular job, while going to study, while going to the gym, while training boxing, while having a girlfriend. I know I can do that. There is very much enough time in the day for me to do all of this. And I will. Man, honestly speaking about it, I'm getting pretty excited, to be fair. It sounds really fun. That type of life is awesome. I'd love to have that type of life. And I will. Hopefully by the end of 2026, I'm going to be updating kind of the progress on this journey. I'm going to be making videos on it very much like every single week. I'm going to have probably like on Sundays an update day on how I'm doing on everything I did. And yeah, that's it for me. Yeah, we'll see each other next time, I guess. Hopefully. Like and subscribe, maybe? That'd be nice.